Howdy folks, welcome to the channel. I'm Don. This is Rockin' a Country. I've got a very interesting gift request. Well, Amanda A., shout out to you. Thank you for this gift. And I think you may share an account with your husband, so it could be Mr. or Mrs. A., let's put it that way, who made this request. But thank you for the gift and the request. And here's the interesting part. It's Trey Calloway's song, She Misses Being Mrs. And Amanda said this is a new country artist that I came upon today with a song that so many people can resonate with. I wish I would have found this song a few weeks earlier for Memorial Day. So we clearly are going to have a patriotic song. That's why I redonned my USA hat, which I wear from time to time anyway on the channel. But for this one, I'm like, I'm going to bring this one out for sure. So she misses being Mrs. I don't know if her husband passed away in war, in service, of course, or just on active duty and being away, and she doesn't get to be Mrs. But we're going to find out how this is developed. So Trey Calloway is a new artist to the channel too, so this is new stuff all the way around. Here we go.
They met in high school, they fell in love. They said I do, drove away in his truck. He always dreamed of being a soldier. Said when he got back, they'd spend days growing older. His second tour, they came under fire. Not every hero comes home.
Damn.
Now she misses his heart, his tender touch, the warmth of his arms, wrapping her up, the memory of every smile, and 1,000 goodnight kisses. But most of all, she just misses being Mrs.
Man, that drives it home. You know, one of the things in life, and I realized this the other day too, but I've known it, but when you formally put it into words for yourself, but in a relationship, some people's orientation is what they're going to get out of it. What the other person's going to give to me, do for me, be for me, all these things. But one of the things that is not spoken of or understood, appreciated, recognized is that when you're in a relationship, you're in opportunities to give. You could say a nice thing to the other person. I don't mean in any formal way. I mean just as a natural going about the kitchen. I'm getting my coffee. You're getting the cream out of the fridge, whatever, passing one another. You touch one another. You get to be with one another, but you get to give. You get to think about doing something for the other person, giving something. For guys, maybe picking up flowers or sending it to honey. Well, I'm on my way home from work. Well, can I pick something up for you? You get to give. And that's what she doesn't get to do any longer with him. Not only doesn't she get to be kissed by him, but she doesn't get to kiss him when she wants to. He's not there. And that's such a simple way of encapsulating a huge void.
She still goes to the store, cooks on the stove, a dinner for two, but she sits there alone. She lies in their empty bed every night, turns out the lights and she cries, 'cause she misses his heart, his tender touch, the warmth of his arms, wrapping her up, the memory of every smile, and 1,000 goodnight kisses. why there's always a rose on his stone, 'cause that's as close as she'll ever get. She still misses his heart, his tender touch, the warmth of his arms wrapping her up, the memory of every smile and 1,000 goodnight kisses. But most of all, she just misses being Mrs.
Kind of says it all, doesn't it?
Yeah, most of all, she just misses being Mrs.
That's a song that could be adapted for any situation in which the husband dies, or even divorce, even if it's mutual. You know, you do wonder when, in the case of divorce, whether it was a mistake or not. And you generally do. And even the folks, that I life coach with too, there are lingering questions in a divorce. When a spouse dies, there are no lingering questions. It's just the pain that you have to endure, the grief, the what ifs, what would have happened if, he'd come back and then we did go on and had our children and made decisions in life and worked through problems and got the swimming pool or didn't get the swimming pool and then saw our parents grow old and helped each other through that all these things, the what ifs. What would life look like? The part that you just never know. And she'll go on to get into another relationship likely. Most people do. Takes a while, and I recommend that too. I mean, it takes a while the only way to get through grief is to grieve. You have to go, you've got to grieve. You've got to make sense of it. You've got to deny it. You've got to be like, this is a nightmare. I'm going to wake up from it. And then reality continues to hit you that this is very real. And then you go through burying him, and then all the parts, the people giving you condolences that you can't even hear any longer because you're numb. You don't want to believe it, but eventually you accept it. And then eventually you might meet somebody, usually do, that it can work. But, the new person has to be strong enough to acknowledge that the reason you're together is because he died and you still have fond memories, thoughts, all that. You have to have a strong man in these circumstances, or if the genders are reversed, a strong woman who knows that it isn't that you're pining for the other person, because we understand the reality of death, but that new person has to be strong enough, compassionate enough, secure enough that, to know and accept that there are still feelings in your heart for this person that's no longer with us, but there's still sadnesses that you'll experience. And if you're willing to not merely accept that, but to even talk about it, how you doing with this, sweetheart? That type of thing. Like, today's the day he died, or today would have been his birthday, or this would have been your 8th anniversary. How are you doing with that, honey? Like, you can go through it with that person because it's very real. It's not a slam on you, the new person in their life, due to tragedy. It's just there's so much of it in this world that actually maybe they should have a class on it in not high school, but somewhere, even if it's a 2-hour introductory class to this could happen in life. Accept it, because it happens to a lot of folks. It happens with divorce when you you remarry. That dynamic is different because there's usually bitterness and some anger and confusion and all that. But in the case of a death like this, where she was in love with him and it was his second tour, so he came home from the first tour. So you kind of be like, all right, I know there's a risk. As the wife, you're like, I know there's a risk that it could go south, but I've got experience with one tour, and he came home. So he'll probably come home from the second tour, but he didn't. So I'm not going to rate this song. I mean, it's a song in one sense that I could because it's about her, but the family suffer. Um, I mean, I don't know. You got people who are on active duty or who did active duty. I don't know if the family suffer as much or possibly more than those who are on active duty. I've never thought about that before, but I do have extreme compassion for the loved ones who are back home in America living their lives just worried all the time and everything's out of your control. And you just don't know if you're going to get that phone call or the visit from the chaplains or whomever, the rabbis who were sorry to tell you this, but so and so is dead. So Amanda A, thank you for this. It's always good to feel the full range of emotions. I love what doing this channel does because you get to feel people's loss. You get to contemplate their loss. And even if it's just sort of in a song of people you don't even know, this dynamic exists. I like feeling that, thinking about it, getting in touch with it on a certain level, so I'm not just sort of like a numb person going through life who can't identify with people, doesn't have anything to offer. I like knowing this stuff, feeling it. I like feeling the happy, silly songs. I like the laughing songs, the poignant, the open-ended songs, all that. But this was She Misses Being Mrs. That kind of says it all, right? So, all right, guys. Thank you again to all you who have served, who are serving, and I thank Amanda again. Have a great day. I'll see you on another video and keep rocking the country.